this year? And are you struggling already to figure out how to meet that goal or just how to begin moving down the path toward greater money? Well, I am so glad you are here because today the angels are going to clear up all of that confusion and teach us the language of money. Welcome, everyone. I'm Dr. Marcia Martin, the heart healer, and we have so much great stuff to cover. So, here's what the angels want to share. First, what is the universal language? If you don't know what it is, how in the world can you possibly speak it? And how are fear and faith the same? What draws money to you and what pushes money away? What speeds up manifestation? We always want it to be faster. And as always, who can help? Who in the energetic realm is going to be able to help us move toward our goal instead of moving away from what is desired? Now, it is really easy to say to yourself, I would never move away from my goal. But if you don't understand how things are attracted to you, that's exactly what you may be doing. So, what is the universal language? What language does the universe speak? Well, when I was beginning my own journey, I certainly believed that the universe spoke ancient languages or specific mantras or chants or prayers. And I thought that if I memorized them and said them again and again and again, that that would really convince the universe that I was desiring and worthy of this particular thing. And it always confused me that most of those things didn't come to me. So, what is the universal language? It is vibration, energy. It is all of you and the way that you are responding as an energetic being. So, what are some of the components of that? Well, words can't tell the whole story. Words just say specific things, but they don't always indicate what is your intent. What are you meaning when you say that? They also don't identify what your belief system may be. What are you believing? And they also cannot identify how attached you are to it. How much are you willing to invest in this mindset, in this desire? How much are you willing to repeat it? All of that creates the story, and it's the story, your vibrational output, that is actually allowing you to converse with the universe. We have to remember that the universe is and law of attraction are not corrective bodies. The law is simply reflexive and magnifying. So the universe says you can have anything you desire, and you get it through the law of attraction by placing into the desire what is wanted with your attention, with your energy, with your focus, with your words. But what we often forget is that we talk continuously and pay a lot of attention to what we don't want. And we get really emotionally attached to what we don't want. And every once in a while, we may remember to think about what is wanted. But we're most of the time so busy pushing against what isn't wanted that we haven't put any effort into drawing closer to us that which is wanted. So, if we are going to be successful at manifestation, we must operate in the way the universe operates and speak the language that the universe speaks. So, we've got to clean up our vibrational output if we are going to receive that which is desired. So I want to separate the language that we speak as humans and the language the universe speaks. The more something is repeated, the greater the attachment to it, the more energy, the more vibration is around this thing, and the more likely that you're going to interact with it. As humans, we often participate in the language of gossip. Gossip is sort of the universal language of the human race. It's something along the lines of, "Did you hear this? I'm so glad it's not me." Again, look at all of the ways that I'm adding, attaching more emotion to it. Or, "Gosh, I wish it was me." These are all ways in which we are attaching to an unwanted or something that we don't have. If it is wanted, we would be attaching with envy. If it's unwanted, we're still attaching to it by talking about it and growing it. Gossip is social. It's shared, and it often will create a community or a superiority, and it's joining together around a common theme. So, if the theme is impactful, it can even become a movement or a conspiracy, like climate change, those who are for and those who are against, or those who believe climate change is real and those who are convinced that it's not. When we get caught up in the energy of a situation, we become extremely magnetic because we are working with the law of attraction continuously. So we want to get caught up in the vibration of what is wanted around the subject of money instead of caught up in the gossip of scarcity. There's never enough. Oh, I don't get paid enough. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough opportunity. Get out of that scarcity mindset. Stop gossiping about that. You are giving it power. You are drawing it to you. You are making it extremely difficult for you to live in a state of flow and ease. We want to align with the vibration of more than enough. Money has its own vibration within the universal language. Align with the vibration of increase. Align with the vibration of the universe is overflowing with abundance. Align with what you desire. But you've got to stay out of the places, the lower vibrational spaces of envy or worry or fear or any way in which you are not calling the higher vibration of money to you. So let's remember that many of you might have grown up with a false belief surrounding money. If you were raised by parents who had parents who were experiencing the depression or any kind of money scarcity, you may really be attached to the idea that money is difficult to come by. You've got to retrain your mind, get away from that kind of thinking if you're going to attract money easily. So perhaps you're saying to yourself right now, "I would never reject money. I love money." There are many ways in which that can be hidden. So check your cultural beliefs, check your religious beliefs, check your familial relationship to money. And remember, at least when I was growing up, the quote that was going around about money is, Money is the root of all evil. And this was considered to be a quote from the Bible. I don't have the passage. You can look it up. However, that was a misquote. The actual quote is, the love of money is the root of all evil. Don't worship money. Use it as a tool. Use it to get you to where you want to go or to help others get where they want to go. Use it. Don't worship it. Put your money to work for you, because when you allow money to work, you benefit not only yourself, but you are able to benefit others. So let's take a look at what that actually means. Let's say I have an idea for a new product. Okay, well, I need money in order to sustain me while I'm developing the idea. But once I get the idea developed, maybe I want to make it into a product. Well, now I need money again because I'm going to need to gather all of the raw materials that are necessary for my product. And now I want a warehouse and other people. Now that I understand how to make it, I want to teach this technology to other people so they can make more of these things for me. And then I want to give it to a sales group so they can sell it for me. All of this requires money. All of this is money at work. All of this is supporting the good of either yourself or someone else. If you had to buy, if you had to be supported by money in order to get the idea, then you had to buy the products. Now you're supporting the product manufacturer. Then you are hiring people to create the products. Now you're supporting all the employees. And then you're giving it to a sales force and you are honoring the people that are buying it, honoring your employees all the way down the line, including yourself. This is the way that you want to think about money. Money should be a tool, not something that you objectify as the thing that will make you good. You're already good. Money is not going to make you good. And money is simply a magnifier. If you are not a nice person and you suddenly get an influx of money, you're going to be a greater not nice person than you were just a minute ago. You're not going to give that money. You're not going to share that money with others. You're going to spend it on you, if you spend it at all. If you were a lovely person, a generous, kind, and caring person, and you suddenly got a big influx of money, you're going to make sure, if you are wise, that you are taken care of first. And then with your overflow, all that's extra, you may start or support other charities and other people. That's making money work for you. So you have to create a healthy balance with money. The money lift language is make sure that you are in alignment with what is wanted. So if you are struggling to feel good about money, or if you are struggling against a cultural or religious or familial belief, take the time that you need to let go of the illusion that there is something wrong with money, or that money is going to make you bad, or that having more money is going to make you into something that you are not. Address that first, and then go on to create a healthy balance. So, creating a healthy balance is you want to have enough in the accounts that you can access for security. And that number is going to look different for every person. There is no one number that you need. It's the that everybody needs. It's the number that you need. Then take the rest of your money and put it to work somewhere so that you are not constantly having to generate effort. You want to make the money, which is a tool, do the work for you. That doesn't mean that you buy a bunch of stuff. Stuff, unless it's for your job or to enhance your life in some way, isn't always showing money working. Money working would be putting it into an investment, putting it into a business, putting it into stocks, putting it into something where you feel that you're going to get a return. Now, you'll know better than anyone where you feel you want to invest. Don't start a business to start a business. Start a business because you feel passionate about whatever it is that you want to share. Then your money will go to good use. If you start a business and you dislike the business, you are likely to go out of business quickly, and then your money will not have done much for you. So, you want to make sure that you are investing in the right reasons and in the right places. Don't be afraid to spend money. If you're holding onto the money, you have no flow. You've got to let go of some money. This does not mean you go on a spending spree telling yourself, this is going to bring me more money. It also doesn't mean that you start giving away all the money that you have, believing that that's going to make you good and will attract money to you. You instead have to decide, what do I need in order to live well, to feel comfortable, and to feel safe? And what do I have left over that I can invest or put to work in a different way? And then you can spend some of that leftover money knowing that it's good for you to stimulate the money flow. You can't sit here with tight fists denying everything that you desire and expect that money can flow. Money is just energy, so you gotta let it flow to you and from you. Make sure that you are not talking about your job and saying things like, oh, I hate this place. Nah, 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 nah. Be grateful for the money that is coming in. Even if you dislike where you're working, you find things about it that you can support. I really appreciate the fact that I get a paycheck every week, every 2 weeks, whatever it might be. I really appreciate the fact that this job is here so that I can continue earning this money. And then for the other things that you would rather not have, I am looking for a job that will bring me even more money. I'm excited about all of the new opportunities that are coming to me. I am excited about the ways that I'm going to be able to expand my finances. Those are all positive ways without putting a roadblock in the way by complaining about what you do have. Keep it flowing. Recognize what's good and go put your attention on even more good. So don't be afraid to spend, but if you do spend, no regrets. That one is really tough. Let's say you make an investment, and we'll just use stocks for this. You invest in a particular stock that you think is really going to do well, and perhaps it's quite expensive at this time. And then out of nowhere, and it doesn't matter whether you could see it coming and you didn't take action or you couldn't see it, but all of a sudden, that stock that you bought when it was here, believing it was going to go here, that stock that was here plummets. And now you have lost your investment. You could sit here all day. Oh, I'm so stupid. What was I thinking? I made such a bad choice. Oh, now I don't have that money. Oh, what am I going to do? You can bring your vibration completely out of alignment. You can cut off the flow of money by focusing on what went wrong. Or you can say, wow, I really learned a lot from that investment. I learned that perhaps I don't have the expertise to invest on my own. I might need to hire somebody who can really give me information. Or I learned that I don't enjoy investing in the stock market because there's too much risk. Whatever you want to say, however it makes sense for you, you want to make sure that you are keeping a healthy, welcoming relationship with money. So now let's figure out, because this is another place where we often get into trouble. Oh, and one more thing. If you are finding that your money investment did not go the way that you had expected it to, no shame or blame. Okay, that happened. Recognize that you made the decision that you thought was wise at that time, but you could only make the decision with the information that you had available. So there's absolutely no point to going back and saying, oh, after the stock has plummeted, oh my gosh, I'm such an idiot. Really? Because you thought you were really smart when the stock was here and this is all the information that you had. You had this information and you thought you were making a really intelligent, wise choice. Now that you have this much information, you can't pretend that you had this much information when you only had this much. That's just being cruel to yourself. It will end up with resentful, self sabotaging behavior. And I guarantee you, any money that was on its way to you is going to make a U turn and run the other direction. So, how are fear and faith the same? Well, it may not feel like they're the same at all, but both fear and faith are compelling and expanding energies. So, this is why it is so important that you make sure you're on the side of fear. I'm sorry, you're on the side of faith and not on the side of fear. Jeff, thank you. That is a brilliant question. Yes, your angel guides can show you how to spend your money wisely, but make sure that before you are asking them for that guidance, you don't have any interference. So if you're saying, hey, and I'm going to share with you in just a minute who can help you with uh, just money in general and abundance. But if you are feeling, for whatever reason, a lot of resistance toward money, toward investing, toward spending, toward receiving, you're going to receive a message from them that is clouded with your own doubt and fear. So before you ask your guidance system for where should I invest, make sure that you are really in alignment with them and not running everything through a dirty filter. And you'll know if you don't feel clear, you've still got work to do. And while you've got work to do, ask a financial advisor whose job it is to give you advice. Take their advice, see how that feels. Go to your angels, ask them, see how that feels. See where you might have pockets of resistance. And if you have pockets of resistance, clear it out. So here's one way to clear it out. This is the faith and fear thing that we oftentimes don't realize that we're doing. So, fear, which is compelling and expansive, is you're afraid not to align with what you're afraid of. You're afraid that if you don't look at this thing that you're afraid of, that it's going to get a hold of you. It's going to sneak up on you. It's going to become big overnight, and you're not going to be able to do anything about it because you were off not paying attention to it. You were off looking at what was good. And this thing that you were afraid of just made itself bigger because you weren't paying attention. That can never happen. It's your attention that is making something bigger or smaller in your energetic field. So if you are afraid of something and you're giving it your attention 24/7, you're going to draw it to you. If you are delighted by something and you're paying attention to that 24/7, you're going to draw that to you. So let's look at faith. How is faith the same yet different? Well, we know it's compelling and it is expanding. But fear says, I have to pay attention to this thing or it's going to get bigger and I don't want it to get bigger. Faith says, I already am and will always remain safe. So faith is telling you to come from a place of safety. You feel how much calmer that is, how much more expanding that is, how much more we want that to support us. And faith says, everything works out for me. Even in the darkest moment, we need to hold on to the understanding that everything is always working out for us. If we get stuck in the place where we start saying, oh, everything bad happens, nothing good ever happens to me, everything always screws up, we are going to attract that. So when we are willing to step into faith and say, I'm always safe, even though it may be dark, everything always works out for me. You are now going to open to ways to move yourself forward, as opposed to closing off that help. Faith says there's always another way. Faith helps you find answers. It helps you stay aligned with your divine source. It helps you be open to their support. And when you are not closed off from the answers, you will see that there are many, many ways that you can address the same problem. Faith gives us choices. Fear just locks us in the closet. So fear is living with a hammer over your head. And faith is living in a cocoon. Faith says, I'm always safe no matter what happens. I'm safe to explore. So I can make some mistakes over here and get it wrong and change my mind, and I'll still be safe. There's no hammer hanging over my head saying that if I don't get it right, I'm going to be living on a street corner. Faith just says, oh, there's always another way. I will attract that money to me in another way if this way hasn't worked out. So, both are going to allow life challenges and experiences because that's why we're here. We don't want to get into the place where we are saying, I don't want any more life experiences. Instead, we want to walk through those experiences with faith, and faith says, I'll keep you strong. I'll show you the way. I'll help you understand that you're always safe, that you're never alone, and that we are supporting you. Faith is going to bring you access to people, to resources, to ideas. And faith creates ease. All that fear can do is keep you locked in the closet. Now, let's understand something about money and faith. Faith is in the realm of the divine. Love, joy, and peace are all that make up the divine. money is actually on a lower vibrational frequency than the divine realm. It's part of the divine realm because it is good, but it doesn't have as high a resonance as love, joy, peace, and faith. So if you are walking in a place of joy and faith and love, money cannot help but be drawn to you. If you are in a state of worry, you're way down here, way in that negative register, that depressed, energetic place. And the money that's up here isn't going to go down to you here, but it can easily flow up to faith because there's no resistance. And the faith and the love and the joy are actively pulling it toward you. They're doing the work for you. In order to access money with ease, you have to rise. You've got to get at least equal to the money vibration. And once you're equal to the money vibration, go even higher. Get up here where life feels good. Get away from having to even think about how money is going to find you, and instead get here and get into the place of certainty that, yes, of course, money's going to find me. I'm holding this beautiful space of joy. Everything that I need to sustain that joy is going to be added on to me. And that means money and food and clothing and shelter and every other thing that will feel good to you during this lifetime. It also means that those things that are not feeling good are going to be repelled. Joy draws in more joy, but it also has the ability to repel that which is negative. You may be, when you hear or interact with something negative, hear it, be aware of it, draw it into your mind for a second, and then just recognize, I can choose my reaction, and I choose not to be involved with this, or not to be disturbed by this, not to be knocked off from my high place of love, joy, and peace. So allow those high vibrational energies to do the work for you by just focusing your attention on everything that feels good. The highest frequency of love compels and commands everything around it. Everything that is good, which is in that lower vibration below the perfect divine level, has to flow to you in order to sustain you in this higher place. It is not you working more hours. It is not you working a second job. Although those may be necessary for you to get out of the fear place until you are capable of really holding that place of faith and staying in that love, joy, and peace, yes, do that extra work. Take on that extra job. Work those extra hours so that you can feel secure. But while you're doing that, look for the joy. Fill your heart with everything that feels good. So I guess I've already answered the question of what draws money to you and what pushes it away. So let's remember both fear and faith are compelling, but fear draws us toward the unwanted. So if you are feeling that you are drawing things that are unwanted, begin with you. Always begin with you. Check your self-talk. Are you saying things like this? Nothing good ever lasts. I'm not worth that much. I don't make enough money. I make too much. I don't think I deserve this amount. Or, I knew something like this was going to happen. These are all roadblocks to ease and flow with money. It doesn't matter how much you need, the universe is unlimited. If you need this much, be willing to receive it. If you would be happier when with this much because you just don't want the responsibility of this, then be happy to receive that. But please stop qualifying whether or not you are good enough and just know that you are. You are more than enough. You are more than you will ever realize, and you are worthy. So, faith, on the other hand, draws more good to you because faith speaks a different language. Faith speaks the language of ease. Fear spoke rejection, not good enough, not worthy. Fear speaks ease, hope, abundance, and the expansion of good. So, here are some faith things you could say. Even though this is a tough situation, I do want you to recognize where you are. No shoving things under the rug. Recognize where you are so you're not building up resentment. Even though this is a tough situation, I know everything always works out for me. I have angelic support. I have divine guidance. I've got so many wonderful helpers. Or good always finds me. Everything works together for my highest good. And recognize too, even a challenge can be for your highest good. If you are never asked to expand, you will never recognize how great you truly are. So, a challenge doesn't mean you failed or that you are doing something wrong. It simply is an indication of growth. Get excited. I am safe and loved. No matter what happens, I'll find a way. Look at all that I've already received. That one is so powerful. If you are looking in your wallet and you're seeing only a couple of dollars and you want to feel like a failure, take a moment to realize how much you have received throughout your lifetime. In order to stay alive, you will have received hundreds of thousands of dollars or in goods and services. You all got medical care, you all got education, you all got food, you all got some sort of housing. All of that had a dollar amount attached to it. And if you are of working age, you will have received some salary. You've earned a lot in your life. So look at how much you've already received and go from that place of, wow, I really am good at earning money. Now, what is going to speed up your manifestation? First of all, let's remember if you have put yourself in a dark space, do not expect that you're going to turn it around tomorrow. Expect that you're going to have to move from wherever you are at least to neutral before you can move ahead to the place of abundance. So let's be realistic. If you locked yourself in the closet, you're going to have to find out how to unlock the door before you're going to be able to get out of the closet. So let's not get discouraged because it's not happening tomorrow. Recognize you need to go on the journey of consistency in order to build the momentum to get the result that you want. Jeff is asking, can having faith be like floating above with the clouds? Absolutely. When you feel good, you are probably not going to feel heavy, burdensome, or have difficulty moving. You are going to feel a sense of freedom, a sense of floating, a sense of ease. Yes, if it feels good, you are in alignment. If it feels like a struggle, check your heart. That is not okay. So, what's going to speed it up? You got to keep holding on to what feels good. You have to be consistent in your repetition. You cannot look at what feels good for 1 second and then spend 5 hours looking at the problem and believe that you are moving yourself toward what feels good. You're moving yourself toward a bigger problem because we receive what our attention is on. So you got to be consistent. You have to trust that things will work out. If 1 second, oh, I know things are going to work out, and 5 hours of nothing ever works out for me. Oh, I knew this was going to happen. Oh, life is so hard. That is just such a mountain of doubt and fear and negativity and toxic nonsense that you have created that you're going to need to spend more than 1 second on, oh, things always work out for me. But I have to tell you that love is a much more powerful vibration than fear. So even if you did spend 5 hours on what's wrong, if you could spend a consistent amount of time, doesn't have to be 5 hours, but a consistent amount of time where you are really staying in the high vibration of unconditional love and acceptance, and you are really flowing with divine alignment, you will wipe out the damage that you did with those 5 hours. So refuse to be deviated from the goal. I don't care if a monkey gets in your face and says, you can't do it, you can't do it, you can't do it. Just simply say, I hear you. However, I know that I am more than enough. And get back to focusing on this wanted thing, which is over here, ignoring all of this nonsense. Call on your angelic support team if you are getting overwhelmed with negativity. And let me right now, I'm going to share with you. Oh, darn. I'm going to try to share with you. Why won't it? Shoot. Hang on here, guys. There it is. I'm going to share with you 2 ways in which you can get some support. The first is go to my mailing list. I am sharing, go to my website, join my mailing list. I am sharing a free ebook which will show you some of the ways that you are putting up resistance and what you can do about it. But if you want the tools and the techniques, then I'm going to advise that you join my Patreon community, My Heart's Desire, because there you will get very specific tools that will help you focus. So let's say you're having a really difficult time not paying attention to that monkey that's in your face telling you you can't do it. You need to draw on your angelic support, use the tools that they've given to us that I have shared with you within the community, and get serious about your well-being. Only you can do it. No one can do it for you because you have agreed to the journey that's going to give you the greatest support, the most expansion, the most enlightenment, the most truth. However, we can all call on the angels with or without the tools. And if you are really clear, you're going to be able to hear them and work with them. And when you are up against something that you feel is a financial challenge, or you just want to increase your abundance, Lakshmi is always my favorite energy to call on. Now, Lakshmi, her name means goal or aim. So she's going to help you reach whatever financial goal you've set for yourself. And she represents prosperity and good fortune. She also represents beauty, purity, generosity, and true happiness. So, if somewhere in your religious or cultural upbringing you were told that the divine does not want you to have enough, the goddess of prosperity, the energetic being that helps us receive more than enough, is also overseeing beauty, purity, generosity, and true happiness. If the divine don't want you to have enough, then why would the goddess of abundance offer true happiness? That doesn't mean that happiness is only in your bank balance. That's misery. Love yourself. Allow good things to find you. And the amount of money that you need in order to feel good, to live well, and to help others will also find you. It's law. It's law of attraction. And Lakshmi is got another interesting facet about her. She's the Mother Earth goddess. So here's what you need to do if you're going to call on Lakshmi. Explain the problem. Remember, we're not shoving things under the rug. We are looking at what is. What is the challenge? Let's identify it so that we can figure out what we don't want. We know what we don't want. Then ask for guidance. Okay, I have identified what I don't want. This is what I do want. I need help getting to that place. And then just stay in that place of joy and thanksgiving and deep appreciation for this help, and you will receive an answer. You may receive the answer in a long time. So don't let go of whatever the goal is. You may also receive the answer immediately. Some things can't come to you immediately because they're not ready, you're not ready, or all of the components haven't yet gelled. You will know though. If you are asking for something that requires a lot of moving parts, you can ask for confirmation along the way. You can also say, if this is not for my highest good, please show me what is. And then you will always know that you are in alignment with that which is going to serve you. Allow yourself to receive. You deserve it. And know that the divine wants you to have the desires of your heart. They do not want you to struggle. Struggle is a product of the ego. Flow, ease, joy, love, and peace are part of the divine mind, heart, and desire for you. Allow it to be easy. Thanks, everyone. As always, I'm delighted that you're here and excited for you to join me to get that free ebook and then join my Patreon community and get those tools so that you will have ongoing help. Until next time, sending you all my love.